Yeah. Now, we have been talking about cattle feedlots in a country. You remember there is breeds that we are supposed to use for fattening. You know, when we look at the animals that we are supposed to use for cattle feedlots, we are supposed to use animals that really have a high conversion rate, and they really have a high, we call it the high conversion rate and the high maturity weight. So what do we mean by that? We are looking at animals that can attain at least 1 kilo at 800 grams. Or an animal that can convert over 1,000 grams, that's a kilo. So we shall not just feedlot everything that you see, you get it? But the state we are in, we have animals of Frisian breeds, of which those ones are strictly for milk. And then we need animals that are for beef breeds, which can attain more weight, which can at least convert a lot, and they have the maximum maturity. So like these breeds you see here, we have some few that are Borans, but most of them are Brahmans. Me, I always tell you that in the composition of the meat on my intention or at my heart, I believe in a Brahman. It's an aggressive breed. It has a high growth rate. Actually, per day a Brahman, if it is well fed, it can attain 1,800 grams per day if you put it under a cattle feedlot. So that means if an animal is converting 1,800 grams, it's really very good for the cattle feedlot. So what do we need? Some of these animals you see, they are very good genetical materials, and I cannot advise you to take them on the feedlot for slaughter. What we have, the state we are in the country now, it is a state that don't have a lot of genetical materials. That's why you see us trying to do artificial insemination so that we can infuse in more genes. But when somebody comes and take like this 75% of Brahman, he takes it for slaughter, you know, we are losing a lot, because many are trying to establish the feedlots because they are going to slaughter. 3 months you slaughter, but there is more that are really need help to have this kind of breeds in your line. You need to infuse to change the animals that you have. Like let's say the local ancoles, if you infuse them with good Brahman, they can attain more weight. Did you know that an ankole can attain up to 700 kilos, a bull? But after how long? That might be even in 10 years. We need an animal that can attain that weight at least within 2 years or 1.5 years. If you put it on the feedlot, let's say, like these animals are around 1 year, 1.5, others are still in around 9 months. So, if you put like this animal on the feedlot, after 3 months, that animal should have attained up to 500 kgs live weight. So my dear, this genetics is what we need as per now. Because if we get this kind of genetics, it's going to help us improve these other animals. And that will help us to attain more weight in our animals. And we shall do more feedlots. But if we continue doing the feedlot and we don't have this kind of genetical material, we are likely to slaughter all our animals, and then we don't have any other animal. Remember, if you slaughter an animal of 6 years, to replace it, if you're dealing in the same breed like the one you have slaughtered, you need more other 6 years to attain the same weight. So what do we need? We need this kind of genes. I wouldn't like to do slaughter of this kind of animals. We really need to buy this kind of genetics, and then we improve our animals. Most of us, we have local ankole animals. They can attain a bigger weight, up to 700. The way I have told you, a bull can weigh up to 700 kilos, but in a longer time. You get it? And what we want, we need a shorter time. Feed an animal, convert a lot, and then you sell. So we shall need this kind of genetics, and I do really ask those people that still have this kind of animals. We don't mind however much you spend, because most of the people spend a lot of money to go to South Africa and bring the bulls. That is over 30 million. That cannot be done by an ordinary person. But a person can afford to buy an animal at 7 millions, at 6 millions, and that one animal can serve up to 50 females. You get it? So if you if you take a bull, then serves 50 females, at least we shall get a lower percentage, let's say over 40%, but it can attain more weight as compared to our local animals. Then too, for the Frisians can attain more weight, they can grow big, but when you look at their ratio of muscle to bone, the bones are bigger than the muscles because their time or their role is to produce milk. And an animal that produces milk is supposed to have a bigger bone because it needs a lot of calcium in that kind of arrangement. So that means the animals that would be put in the feedlot wouldn't be local animals because an animal is eating you every day. So if it converts less, that means it's your loss. Frisian animals wouldn't be good for fattening because they cannot attain the weight that you want. So my dear, this is what I have for you. Those people who have this kind of good genetics, please don't slaughter them. You choose those that have not brought up very good features of a certain breed that you really want. And remember, if you are doing breeding, you have to know which breed exactly. You have to have your plan in head. What am I targeting? What is my way forward towards a certain breed that I want? I want you to specialize and say, if I'm breeding for Brahman, let me go for the line of Brahman. If I'm breeding for, let's say, Frisian or Saiwal or what, follow the line. Then finally we shall have what to slaughter. But otherwise, the rate we are consuming animals on and the kind of breeds that we have, if we continue with that for 5 years, we shall not have animals. Otherwise, breed for this kind of animals, then finally we shall be slaughtering what these ones are producing. And those that are good will again be complied again to breed more. Thank you very much. Let me just wish you the best. Me, I love this, and most of my time I want to spend it with animals, and this is a perfect thing. Thank you very much.